our next match has Buriram United Esports versus Liberty, and let's actually take a look at their bracket right now. And of course, after this, the winner of this directly goes into the group stages. And I am back, by the way. The SCA fangirl hat is
This
on
is your
right now.
chance.
Yes, it is. I'm back. I'm back. So, of course, like for me, I think like Buriram United Esports, they are definitely one of the favorites in this current group. But of course, we did see what Kwangdong Freaks are capable of as well. But Hells, you are now a Liberty fanboy.
I am a Liberty fanboy indeed. Like, I am the type of guy, like, I could become a hardcore fan of a team after watching just one game of them. It happened in Europe.
You
with
just watch teams all the time. You stop.
No. So it happened in Europe where Parla Esports played. You remember that
Yep.
one, right? Where they just showed such an incredible performance. I have the same feeling about Liberty. Like, I became a fan of this team after seeing what they can do. It's just the inconsistencies, but I just believe in this team. Like, this is my team right now.
There's no loyalty here. There's no. He just every time
Wait
he
till
wakes up in
tomorrow.
the every time he wakes up in the morning, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna support another team.
Well, there's one team I am loyal to, which is Team Queso, but we'll talk about that one later.
Right. I feel like Hells has like this, like, you know, fishbowl. Which team am I gonna
Yeah,
Which
just pull it out of a hat. Oh, Liberty today. Oh, let's take a look.
But yes, I mean, I would be lying if I say Liberty like didn't like ignite some kind of like, you know, passion in me as well. It was so great watching them play. But of course, in this current matchup, I gotta say, Buriram United, I really think they're taking this serious right now. And Hells, you were talking about how the drafts of Buriram United are just so good.
Oh yeah, that's one thing about BRU that I really enjoyed. Their drafts were incredible. Every single time, it just felt like they were always winning those drafts. So it may be the coaches of BRU or just the players that are drafting incredibly well, but the draft is essentially like 50% of the work that you have to do to win the game. You win the draft, then the game becomes so much easier for you to win. So I'm very interested to see how both these teams draft. So here, as you can see, like, they gave away the Yumi, right? But they countered it with that composition. They had the Singed, they had the Xin Zhao, you know, they had the champions to counter it, and then the Sona to get that healing out as well. Like, these are picks that KDF never expected, and both drafts they actually gave away that Yumi. So they don't go for those traditional drafts. They gave away the Yumi and they just counter it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Liberty is going to be dealing with this drafting geniuses of BRU.
Yeah.
And I think the crazy thing is as well is that going into this game, you know, Buriram United against KDF, Kwangdong Freaks, there was a situation where I think most of us were probably kind of expecting KDF to win, Kwangdong Freaks to win, and then Buriram United just came out and just 2-0'd them really easily. It's just like it completely blew us completely off guard. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one.
Exactly, and I think one of the players, of course, that we have to highlight when we talk about Buriram is What the Jess. And it's going to be so interesting with this series because he's going to be up against Mana Freezer, who is also one of the best supports that we saw from yesterday. And I just love that profile picture.
This is going to be the highlight match of this game.
Oh, yeah.
This is
You
gonna
have to keep your eyes on these two.
What the Jess on the Thresh, Mano Freezer on the Jess as well. This is my main matchup to look at. You know, everyone watching at home, if you want to learn how to play support, if you want to learn how to carry a support, then these are the two supports to watch in play. And you can see the KDAs, you can see the kill participation as well. Over 80% kill participation, all the stats down there as well. And also, you know, I have to talk about Mano Freezer. You know, yesterday on that Thresh against Sentinels, I felt like at times there was really nothing that Sentinels could do about it. He was just everywhere. He was just landing hook after hook after hook.
That just felt unfair, to be honest. Like, it just felt like you could see in the future, right? He was hooking a Lucian. Like, normally Lucian counters Thresh, right? Because Lucian can dodge
the
away.
prediction!
Like,
Oh.
this one right here, this was the most beautiful one, where Lucian tried to go, but here you can just see it. Even a Camille cannot escape with a hook shot. Like, he just hit hook after hook after hook, as Stuart said. Like, I mean, just look at this. No one was
I love
safe.
this as well. The lantern, he throws out the lantern, but no one's there anyway. He's just teasing
It just
the card.
scared him. He's
Yeah,
like-
exactly. But no, I think this is going to be a big priority pick. You know, Thresh is not really a champion that we really see
Look
too
at
much,
that.
but when you have the huge playmaking support that these two teams have, I think Thresh is going to be a big priority in this series. But what the Jess has also showed that he can play, you know, the likes of the Soda as well. He can play a bit more defensive style with the healing and shielding. But I think
And
these
Yumi.
and also the Yumi, yeah. And I think these are probably two of the craziest supports we have in the play-ins and probably in icons as well. And I think that matchup in the support role is going to define the series.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Definitely will have my eyes on the both of them. And I just have to say, Mana Freeze and the way he's able to predict with those hooks,
That's
like
crazy.
I feel like he would do so well on the Anna's desk with predictions. 'Cause I'm not doing so well right now, so he should probably be there. Like I feel like I want him to take care of like my stocks as well with how good he predicts. It's crazy, it's crazy. But of course, Mana Freezer and Liberty, they will be incredibly. It will be a test.
You know what?
It will be a test for them, and I feel like this is gonna be like their first true test. Indeed, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate from NA over there, but I feel like this is the first true test for Liberty.
Oh,
I do have to say, Hels, if I would be lying if I said that there wasn't a small part of me that was actually cheering for Liberty after what we saw yesterday, because they're just one of those teams that, you hear them, you feel their energy, especially here on the stage, and part of you actually roots for them with the way they actually push.
Oh yeah, like I actually even think if they played against an EU team, right? Like part of me would still want to see them succeed. I mean, of course, I would still have to root for my boys from EU, but yeah, these are indeed the guys that ignite the fire in you. Like when
Yeah.
you watch them, when you see them make those crazy play, when you see them make those crazy picks works, like that's what you want to see in a game of Wild Rift.
Exactly, and it's like I love those games where it's like on paper it doesn't look like a victory at all. You can see you can read at the goal, you can look at the towers and everything, but there's something about the team that just turns it around. We saw it a little earlier today in one of our series. Liberty, I feel like I see that in them as well. They do have that. You can hear them. I don't know if the audience can hear them, but right now you can hear that fire over there, and they're so ready for this series. But Stuart, I'm really curious. So we have our eyes on What the Jess, we have our eyes on Mana Freezer as well. Both amazing Thresh players. I am assuming that both teams will ban out the Thresh immediately. What do you think are their options, though?
I mean, you look at the other aggressive supports they can play as well, the likes of Seth, the likes of Fiona as well. There's still plenty out there, as Hal's mentioned well, What the Jess, Yumi as well is probably going to be a big priority pick. This is the only Western team as well that has made it out of the, made it to the upper bracket as well, which is the big thing.
And there's the Xin Zhao ban.
Yep.
You can see BRU is drafting. They do their research. Like this is already their power. This is one of Kinzin's picks. The other one is Wukong, by the way, which
Yep.
I assume is gonna get banned out as well. Like, I'm really curious to see how BRU decides to draft against Liberty. And I gotta be real honest with you guys, I just wanna see a Thresh happen. I don't think it will, but whether it's on Liberty or BRU, I just wanna see it happen.
Me too. It's a wish thing. I honestly don't think it's gonna happen. If it does, hey, we're gonna be so happy. But I think like What the Jess, you brought up the Yumi pick from What the Jess as well. I think, if I remember correctly, there was a match wherein What the Jess had over 32k damage, and that was
The most damage. That was when he went. I think that was the first time we really saw a full AP Yumi in competitive Wild Rift, and that was when the Yumi did like full damage, had the most damage in the entire game as well. So I think What the Just has a lot of stuff up his sleeve, and so does Mana Freezer as well at the same time. So. I mean, look at the draft, I think there's kind of standard bans. There's a lot of power picks are open, though. Lucian's open, Jace is open, the Yumi is open, Senna is open,
Liberty is
still
gonna
open.
yeah.
There's so many power picks open.
Liberty is gonna.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Oh, we're not getting it today.
Not
We're
today.
Not getting it today. Aw, man.
Nice prediction, though. At least we got one prediction right today.
That's right.
I mean,
We predicted the Thresh.
There is the Yumi, however.
We have the Yumi.
So there you go, the What the Jess Yumi probably going to be full AP as well. But like I said, there's so many power picks open. I feel like when there's so many power picks open, you prefer to be on the red side. And there is the Wukong that you mentioned as well. Kinzin is literally just Xin Zhao or Wukong, and that's it. When I was watching, when we were watching Liberty games actually with Rafa before as well, Kinzin is this sort of aggressive jungler. He loves to invade, he loves to go in for team fights, and this suits Liberty's playstyle, which is going to be a big clash of playstyles between these two teams, because Buriram, they like to play a little bit more slow. They like to play for the mid and the late game, whereas Liberty, they just go in for team fights and they don't care.
BRU has the Olaf Yumi combo, however, and we know how dangerous this can be. Liberty does have a lot of tools to still try and counter it. This is still very early on in the draft, but Yumi Olaf, that's a combo that is always going to be painful. And indeed, they gave away the Wukong to Kinzin. He has two champions. You have one job. Don't let Kinzin play Wukong or the Xin Zhao, because he's gonna do a lot of damage on those.
I feel like also it might be just like, okay, maybe you can play it this game. Maybe you can.
Test
Maybe
it
they
out,
want to
so
try
test it,
something
yeah.
out. Maybe they are trying something out. I do know that these teams, sometimes they keep their cards close to their chest and they don't want to show their best hand right away. But I feel like on the side of Buriram, Yumi is a great pick for them right now. I am very curious to see who they're going to pick for the Baron later, because Noelle is also one of the amazing players. Oh!
Ash pick. This is an interesting one. The Ash pick for boss. Now, I remember there was, I think it actually might have been Liberty. Rafa's going to absolutely slap me for this.
What's the worst Ash I have seen?
No. There was a Brazilian team and a Brazilian player that loved Ash, and Ash was like the pocket pick, but I can't remember off the top of my head who it actually was.
He's yelling at you right now.
Oh, he's.
I feel him.
I can actually hear him as well. We can't actually tell what he said. But yeah, I think Ash is like a very, very strong pick in Brazil in general. I think it actually is Liberty, because I think it was the Ash Blitzcrank bot lane that they played before in the Brazil region. So this is definitely a pick for Liberty that they've practiced before, and it's great setup for the rest of the team with that aggressive playstyle.
So another pick to talk about is the Karma. Kona plays a lot of Karma in the mid lane. This is not necessarily a support Karma, if a lot of people thought that. Like, this Karma can be flexed into the mid lane, and we could see a different support depending on the draft. And Liberty is actually playing this draft very, very well into BRU, who are now known to draft very, very well. So it's interesting to see what these teams are going to be picking afterwards. So BRU still has another ban to go, and if I were in their shoes, I would have no idea what to ban out.
I think they actually missed. Oh, okay, it was just a graphic thing. So it was a Jason Darius ban, and then the Ziggs and Diana ban as well. Mana Freezer picks up Blitzcrank here.
Oh,
I'm happy.
We would all be happy.
I don't think it's good though, because Lucian can dash away. Olaf can use.
There's no way they're gonna pick it here.
I don't think they'll pick it at all. The Karma can still go in the support role, but as you said, Kona can also play the Karma in the mid lane as well. Then you've got Kinzin as well on the Wukong. This is a really, really nice draft at the moment. Garen, no
Freaks,
surprise.
Garen,
really.
Darius.
Yeah.
Yet again, like, these are the two champions, you know. That's the one weakness that Liberty does have, and BRU, unfortunately, they don't necessarily draft against it. Sure, they ban the Darius, but then you have the Garen. Sure, they banned the Xin Zhao, but then you have the Wukong. Liberty is still sitting on like their big comfort pick, and Karma for Kona as well. One of his most played champions, and like, I just feel like BRU this time have not done a good job during this draft.
I think the thing is that like if you're on the side of Buriram, you have that Yumi Olaf combo. So Wukong's not really going to do too much against that combo, because the Olaf can just use the ultimate, and then you'll be able to just run through the Wukong ultimate if you want to. Again, Garen's not going to be a really big issue as well, because you've got the Yumi by your side. So I think they just want to deny the sort of, the Xin Zhao for the disengage as well. But Shen and Ari, there's so much, it's actually going to be a Lucian Yumi bot lane as well, which is
finally
a super aggressive bot lane. But I don't think that's going to be a whole breaker Lucian bot lane. Hopefully it's not, because finally it doesn't work. But this bot lane is really, really exciting to watch.
Finally, actual Lucian gameplay, right? And a Seraphine!
Wow!
There you go. That's the Seraphine. I don't believe we have seen a Seraphine yet.
This is the first.
Oh,
I haven't seen a Seraphine in a long while, actually.
I'm pretty sure Kona has played Seraphine as well in the Brazilian region, and this is what Liberty want. They want the aggression. They go for the aggression with the Wukong, with the Seraphine, with the Ashe ultimate setup as well, with the Karma as well. This is Liberty in a nutshell.
I think Liberty just outdrafted BRU.
You think?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not so sure, because it's like, I would think like BRU, they might allow the comfort picks, because like, you might as well play against something that you know rather than something that you don't know. So
it's all about the early game, I think, with this game. If Liberty can get ahead, then they can stop this game.
All right, we're gonna see indeed who comes out on top. I am so eager to see how Rafa and Riku do with this game. It's gonna be exciting for sure.
Thank you so much, Mika. And you can see that not only the Brazil teams are watching, but also the LATAM teams are watching as well. Furious Gaming in solidarity and in brotherhood with every single team from both LATAM and Brazil, giving their energy to Liberty. If Liberty were to take home this series, that would mean one of the first Latino regions to advance to the group stage.
And that is such a huge deal after seeing the entirety of, the play-in so far. A lot of these teams struggling up against the WRL teams, and now Liberty up against the 4th seed of the WCS. You've got Buriram United.
We're off to the races in game 1 here. I know the Mika and the gang were super excited about the Seraphine pick. I believe this is our first Seraphine of Icons 2022 as well. And one thing about Seraphine that I'm a big fan of, when it's not being played in the support role, when it's actually being played in the mid lane or even the Dragon lane itself, you don't have to itemize Seraphine as an enchanter. You can itemize her full damage, and not only she has some of the safest long-range consistent damage in the game, but she also has some of the most obnoxious team-wide heals as well.
Exactly. Raul,
Look
the
at that!
damage! What? Electrocute, baby! I mean, being able to fight toe-to-toe, level 2 on the Seraphine. We talked about that long range coming from this champion. And I remember when Karma was just released back then, so excited. But at the same time, Karma's just super duper short range. And what's the long range version of a Karma? Nope, it's not Sona, or short version rather. It's a Karma. It's a Karma. Both of these two champions do the same thing, basically. They shield, movement speed, they set up fights, Transcendent Embrace, and the Encore, and they have it all. I love this pivot in the draft because look at the champions from BRU. They will like to dive you. And in the back, being safe is Kona on the Seraphine, just being that counter-engage against BRU.
And if you are a newfound watcher of Liberty, then you might be surprised by Manafritze looking for that early roam in the mid lane. However, Boss is left all by himself, forced to use the heal to not go down from that Ignite all-in from Buriram.
Yeah, this is incredibly scary to leave. If Boss is all alone, that's the go signal for Triple V and what the Jess should initiate, a dash forward. Meanwhile, Kona!
Oh, but Noel is super low as well. Kona going in with the long range damage.
Whoa!
Okay.
Oh no!
Well, it wasn't first blood technically.
It wasn't.
Kona going down was not part of the plan for Liberty, but no kill gold going over to Noel apart from experience. But that's a bit of an oopsie from Liberty.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, right? Because there was still a wave on the side of BRU, wasn't cleared, therefore Freaks unfortunately couldn't exactly tank those turret hits for Kona. And Noel just played that so well, dodging a lot of those scale shots from Kona.
I'm still reeling after what was, you know, we're not going to shy away from it. It was a little odd, but you know, thankfully for Liberty, no extra kill gold over to Buriram. Unfortunately for them, they don't get to secure what could have been a very, very surprisingly nice first blood, but Noel back to full health. You've got Kins in here, looking for potentially a gank.
Noel sees this coming, and you can see that Archery is moving towards top side as well. I want to talk about the Ashe though, because the Ashe pick is usually put in a composition that allows 1-3-1. Usually you see it in Xin Zhao, or a composition that has disengage. But in this case though, we've got double enchanters. Usually when we see double enchanters, we see hyperscaling, but I don't see hyperscaling. It is basically Liberty wanting to overwhelm them with a lot of damage, with a lot of, you know, combo-centric, because of Manafritze is going to be expected to build Staff of Flowing Water later, and that means spammable skills from Kinzin, from Kona most especially.
When we get in later and later into the game, I want you to watch out for the Ashe damage.
That's the arrow though.
Oh, but Crystal Enchanted Arrow, that's one way to start a party. Woo! And no way to react. Liberty strike first blood thanks to Demacia and Justice paired alongside Boss's Arrow from downtown. A Transcendent Embrace from Manafritze trying to lock down the rest of the members of Buriram, but they answer back with the final chapter, causing Liberty to retreat onto the safety of their tower. Archony pressing forward, threatening lethal. The stand united shield from Noel back into the base. Kona with a huge encore ultimate, but it cannot stop Buriram's onslaught under the tower. They're able to press forward, but in response, Kinzin takes a tower on the other side of the map.
There's so many delivery aspects on the side of BRU. Archony Spear rushes forward. You've got Golden Feet rushing with the Ragnarok. Triple B with the dash forward, and you deliver not only a cat, but a ninja on your side. And this is just so flexible when it comes to skirmishes and diving as well up against Liberty. But just as you said, Rafa, they're able to get an exchange. And I love this pickup, the Hullbreaker for Freaks, to not only melt down these towers, but to be extra tankier when he's in the side lane.
Key for Buriram is that even though they lost the tower on the other side of the map, they struck first brick. So they get the extra bit of gold. So they're walking into these two objective points with an extra 2,000 gold advantage.
The sad thing about the CC that Liberty has, they've got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, everything basically in their favor. So when Golden Feet presses R, or rather presses Ragnarok, that's basically everything's going to be ignored.
Is he going to ignore this one? Yes, he does. Ragnarok forced to be used. Transcendent Embrace as well, forcing the members of Buriram back once again. Archony takes them and ensures that they are forced back into the chokehold, but it's Kinzen flashing forward for the Cyclone knockup, but Arshani has the cat on his back, and yes, he goes down, but it's Buriram United that wipe out Liberty, taking them apart. It's only Freaks that managed to get out alive, but Buriram take the fight and even more.
They take the fight, they're gonna take a tower, and they're gonna take the dragon. They're taking everything away at the 6-minute mark, away from Liberty. The fact that it's an Infernal Drake as well, which scales so well, which adds a lot of damage. BRU already hurts to begin with, and that means they're primed and ready to enter this second fight at the Rift Herald.
And just like that, Buriram on slingshot themselves forward from 2,000 to 5,000 gold advantage. And this is the scary part for Liberty. Back in our Coca-Cola pop-off, we take a look back at the replay.
I love this, right? Because it's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, just as we said, that Ragnarok's going to ignore all the CC in the world. You can easily reposition, easily cancel all that. But the play that I really love here, though, is Arshani with What the Jets tag teaming, Spirit Rush reposition downtown.
Okay, Enchanted Crystal Arrow right into the encore. The high note, it's enough damage from Liberty. The pick is successful. Null is taken off the map. Liberty can snowball that into a turret, but because they invest so many resources on the bottom side of the map, that means Buriram answer right on back in the top side.
Yeah, this is so good for Buriram, right? Like, even though they lost Noel, they're still, just as you mentioned, be able to get these objectives, these towers, these structures. And guess what? They still have the Rift Herald. If they win a fight again, that means they can release it, unleash it in the mid lane, and open up the map even more.
Now, while Liberty are down 4,000 gold and Buriram are climbing ever so slowly ahead, I want to take this point. 7.5 minutes into the game, let's look at the members of Buriram who are insanely far ahead. Right now, my eye is on VVV. Almost 7,000 gold on this Lucian, about to hit 2 items. But you look on the flip side, and you know who's also at 7,000 gold? It is Freaks on this Garen.
Yeah, he's able to rack up a lot of gold. I feel like, you know, at that fight at the Infernal Drake, he wasn't a part of it just because he was, you know, trying to shove wave, and that's how he's garnered a lot of gold. He's 3-0 already, on his way to this Black Cleaver, and I feel like he could potentially be the answer. He's going to be extra tanky. He's able to just spin his way, damage everybody else from BRU, and he has execution power with the Demacian Justice. But I want to go back a little bit on this Ashe, because the way that he's using Ashe, sending a tower somewhere else, and then that's the time Freaks can kill someone. We'll see though, this could be a fight.
Rift Herald spawning in the mid lane from Buriram. They make their first charge into the second tier tower. 700 HP, a couple more auto attacks will allow them to further open up the map, and it makes it harder for Liberty to maintain control of their side of the map.
This is so good from BRU. The fact that they didn't have to win this fight. The fact that...
Whoa! That is the Spirit Rush into the bell. And an answer back from Kinzen is absolutely thwarted thanks to the Stand United Shield protecting Arshani's valuable life. He gets out alive. A redemption from Freaks as he charges in. Looking for a Demacian Justice if he can get it, but the root from the final chapter and What the Jets is able to keep the rest of the members of Buriram alive and safe. They don't get the turret, but they all manage to get out alive.
You can never let your guard down when you're in front of Arshani. You don't know if he's gonna proto belt forward, Spirit Rush, and charm you. And that is how they're able to start these fights. It's insane. The proactiveness that we're seeing now from BRU to expand the gold lead, to not care about what can potentially happen with the arrow across your face. It's fine, because this amount of lead, if Liberty starts a fight, BRU can take the heat.
And Freaks continuing his split push. Still 1,000 gold ahead of Noel, so he has now the combat 1v1 advantage technically against the Shen. But you can't always just walk up with impunity. You gotta make sure that you are coordinating with Liberty to make sure that you are always trading up on macro advantages with this Garen that is so far ahead.
We'll see if he does have enough space, because I feel like the moment that Freaks tries to get that split push down, the rest of the members from BRU is just gonna follow through so easily. The fact that Noel can instantly make it into a 1v2 situation, but that's a good thing, right? Freaks is on the Shen lane at the moment. He doesn't have to worry about the rest of the other members.
It's still a 7,000 gold advantage for Buriram, so they are feeling confident. But look at this. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Kinzen on the flank, VVV. He's got the movement speed thanks to What the Jets, though, and a quick cleanse ensures that he gets out alive. It's Golden Feet, though, who's looking for a flank of his own. He's found pause, and he's got a ninja on the way, carrying him right into the base, but Liberty answering back. They've taken out the cat, but can they take out more? It's Shen Kinsen once again going down, and the rest of Buriram are able to fight on back to Liberty. Despite Freaks being so massive on this Garen, he's not massive enough to fight against the power of Thailand.
Yeah, unfortunately, right! Woo! Kona with a flash, almost getting Archony there. Really nice dodge, though. But I want to talk about, even though Freaks is huge, this Hullbreaker pickup means that he will be amazing solo, fighting 1v2, but not in a team fight scenario because of the Hullbreaker.
It's another dragon for Buriram. And as we are heading closer and closer to a game state where Buriram seem to be out of reach of Liberty, you look back at the draft that Liberty set up, and I don't want to question anything right now, but we know that Mana Fritze was so key on playmaker supports in their victory against Sentinels. On Karma, yes, it is an enchanter that gives you tools to shield and empower your team, but it doesn't give you the utmost agency, something similar like a Thresh or a Galio or even a Gragas.
You know, with the composition that they're up against, it's so risky to push forward. Because who's greeting you? This will laugh.
Cold and feet, as you called it out before, Riku, he doesn't give a damn about the CC when he pops the Ragnarok, and he's got a cat in his back pocket to speed him forward to victory. Liberty already losing on their Archer. Boss going down. It is a 4-on-5 as Buriram look to make potentially the final push in this game 1.
Yeah, especially Rotero.
Once again, Archony, Proto belt forward, Spirit Rush forward, finds the charm, has to flash out of harm's way as he doesn't take out Kona quite yet, but it forces the flash and it forces the Summoner Spell's advantage, and Buriram making the final march. The Rift Herald is charging in, a couple more on attacks, 800 HP on the Rift Nexus, but it's not quite yet enough! Boss is back up, and Chakra Serrero, and now this is Liberty's time to strike. Wait! Wait! Freaks is split pushing on the other side of the map, the inhibitor! Buriram, if they can stop the recalls! Wait! I've seen this before! Waltour are no strangers to backdoor plays! They have 2 minion champions on the Nexus! It's a full minion wave! Golden Feet has to clear the wave! He has to stop Kona from being able to take out the Nexus! Oh my goodness, Liberty almost stealing the game right away from Buriram!
That felt like it! That attempt from Freaks, he had demolished, he had the Hullbreaker, he's able to easily melt down these towers and these structures. And BRU, or Liberty rather, they have a lot of wave clear. That's their best strength. Therefore, that protection for the Nexus made BRU, you know, unable to finish that game in general. This is so crazy. Now BRU has to keep watching out for topside, and they always have to eliminate Freaks before they can take prolonged fights.
For longtime Wild Tour fans, they remember back to the grand finals of TSM before their regional championship run to Horizon Cup. They remembered the base race that ended up taking one of the games that ended the series and sent TSM to Horizon Cup. Liberty almost making a similar situation happen, and Freaks, at this point, Buriram, they are well aware of Freaks' win condition this game. They said no more to the split push stream, no more to take in our inhibitors. We're sending you back to the fountain.
Yeah, that was the checklist, right? They don't have to worry about Freaks if he's eliminated.
And Kinsen taking a lot of damage from the backside. Coling coming out from BVV is very dangerous. Liberty on the run here. Once again, Archony fishing for a pick. Transcendent Embrace zones away Buriram United from being able to take out further members of Liberty. They are back on wave clear duty. But the fact that Liberty almost clutching out a surprise comeback from Buriram now has the Thailand team on the back foot.
That was insane. That could have been it. That could have been the big turnaround that Buriram United did not expect. But unfortunately, damage wasn't enough just yet. There is that protection on that Nexus. We'll have to see though. It's a very dark jungle.
Kona! He doesn't know! There's a giant Viking coming from the bush! And he's got an angry cat there with the final chapter to sentence everyone from Liberty to death. Liberty trying to fight back with their kiting, with the range damage, but you cannot deal with what the Jess's signature Yuumi.
You gotta love the adjustments that BRU is doing right now, right? The fact that they'll never leave that lane alone, top lane alone, wherever Freak's gonna keep pushing. They're fine fighting in a 4v4, 5v5 scenario because they're this far ahead. They want to make sure they have a lot of respect on Liberty's game state at the moment as well.
This Baron is going to be uncontested. Freaks is on split push duty once again. He knows that when you are down more than 10,000 gold, it's not up to finding a miracle team fight, it's about finding a ways to stall out Buriram as long as possible to get them to take the eyes off of the minion waves pushing into the base. And the fact that Liberty are still holding on to a game that they shouldn't be, they shouldn't have a win condition back in this game is absolutely incredible. But Buriram now being more cautious in how they advance to close out this game.
Yeah, imagine a 14k gold lead on the side of Buriram already, having most of the dragons in the game, primed in position with their game state. But because of that Nexus open, because of Freak's pressure, it makes things really scary for Buriram. Like, is this a sure win?
Oh, and Channel Crusadero dodged out by BVV. Great relentless pursuit. Culling is opened up. Gets damage back onto the members of Liberty. Kinzen almost as lethal once again is taken out. Monkey King is gone. Mana Fritza is gone. And the rest of Liberty are now sent packing. They're going to have to invest everything they have to defend against the 5-man push. This time Freaks isn't a... Why? He's going for a teleport. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my goodness, that gave me a surprise attack, but Buriram United say not even a chance. We take game 1.
It was a Baron buff. It was Baron buff versus, unfortunately, the Waves not prepped to get that backdoor in check. So Buriram United, you know, Liberty rather making Buriram sweat.
It made us sweat on the casting desk.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You were like screaming like, that's it. But again, that protection with the Nexus, and again, the wave clear coming from the side of both Kona and Manafritza just made things so much harder for Buriram to end it, that game there, and then made everybody sweat, most likely.
By the way, I think it's time.
It's time?
So before
Is it
we
time?
got into the draft phases of the game, we had predictions on what champions would be picked or banned, and we got these. And I think we were both pretty correct. The Dresh was banned.
Yeah.
I got the Yumi as well. So that is, you know, I think we did a solid job,
Yeah,
even though we're not
did.
on the analyst desk. So
Yeah.
nice prediction there. But what we didn't predict, obviously, was an almost comeback from Liberty, 10,000 gold. But Buriram United, they're making sure that they're not falling to any tricks from the Brazilian squad. We're heading back over to Mika and the gang on the desk.
That is so cute, by the way. Can you guys hold that up one more time? I want to.
Oh, it's too late.
Oh, missed it. Oh,
man.
no.
I want to see that. Maybe we should
Oh,
play
there you go.
Oh, look at that.
Are we judging? Should we be the judges now? I'm gonna
I
go
think so.
with Rafa's.
Aw.
But
Let's go!
I like the effort, though. I like the effort. Look at their lantern.
Okay, it's all down to Hells.
So it's up to me, huh?
Okay,
Oh,
go on.
tiebreaker.
I'm gonna go for Rafa as well.
Congratulations.
To be fair, there's a lot of detail in Rafa's. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys. Thank you guys for those wonderful illustrations over there. Actually, like just to remind you guys, like with illustrations, I might be coming back over here onto the desk
Oh,
with something on
God.
my face as well.
Liberty needs to win for me.
Yeah.
If Liberty loses, then I think it's gonna be between us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Remember, we'll have to work it out behind. Yeah, we'll
We'll
work it out.
work it out behind the scenes for you guys, but it's gonna be entertaining for sure. But right now, this was definitely entertaining, especially with a couple of very close moments. But Stuart, you mentioned that, of course, BRU over here, they definitely had like all of their objectives and everything, and this was basically SEA doing SEA things.
SEA doing SEA things. I think the early game, what we're seeing here is they making good use of the Ashe Liberty. You know, Liberty were doing well using the Ashe, trying to get these plays. But I think, you know, the Liberty playstyle is always, as I said in the pre-game, all about this aggressive playstyle. They want to go for plays. But the problem is you're against an Olaf. When you're against an Olaf, there's not really much that you can do against an Olaf, because if you use an Ashe, or if you use the Seraphine ultimate, Olaf just presses his ultimate, just runs towards you with the human. There's nothing you can do. So I like the Liberty were trying to be proactive, trying to make these plays, but Buriram played the map so well with the objectives.
But Liberty nearly won that game at some point. We were sitting on the edge of our seats. I remember you were screaming, he's finishing! He's finishing! I was like, wait, what
Everybody's
is
heart
happening?
stopped.
Oh yeah, Freaks nearly finished that game. And talking about Freaks, he seemed to be the only one truly winning his lane. He was actually destroying Noah in that Baron lane. And all of the other guys, like later on in the game, they were behind like what, 3,000-4,000 gold each in their respective roles.
Yeah, and I feel like, with Buriram United, one of their strong points here is they're definitely their objective game. You mentioned how you were so impressed how they basically got every objective. They dotted all the T's and dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's.
Oh yeah, dragons, Rift Heralds, turrets, they got it all. Like these guys were everywhere, and they just did every single objective. They didn't give a single chance to Liberty to make a comeback, and they were ahead by a lot of gold. Like this kind of gave me a vibe of the Chinese teams where they played the game very, very well macro-wise, and yeah, it's great to see BRU just destroy Liberty like that. Liberty looked very strong yesterday, but when you see a team that looks very strong like that get beaten out by another team, like that's what's truly amazing, right?
I think, like you said earlier, I think that, no disrespect to NA, but I think NA is nothing compared to like Buriram, from the SEA. I think Liberty definitely. I mean, look at this here. Like they were trying so hard, and you know what the crazy thing is as well. I'm not too sure if we'll see it right at the end of the game, but right at the end of the game on the mid-map, I think Rafa potentially. Yeah, look, this is the reaction as well. I was like, oh my god, it's actually going to end. But right at the end of the game as well, I think this is it. I can't really see it from here, but I think that Ash actually tried to go and finish the game as well. Yeah, they tried to do it again with the teleport play as well. I think it was here. Yeah, the Ash is in the bot lane. I think. I can't. Yeah, look, the teleport. Yeah, the teleport comes in on the mini map on the bot side. They try and teleport. They try and finish the game. But that's what I love about like Brazil as a region, also Liberty, is they try these crazy things, and to be honest, it nearly works.
Exactly. Yeah, and it makes it so exciting to watch. Yeah. It's like suddenly, sure, you might have a stronger team or anything, but what on earth is Brazil going to do? Because they could try something crazy like that.
No, I think Liberty could, like you can see here, steady, right? Like steady going up. But that's the thing with Liberty. Next game, it could just be like a 50-minute stomp for Liberty. That's the thing with this team. You don't know what they're gonna do. They're inconsistent. They can be an incredible team. However, I'm not quite sure how good they truly are because they played against Sentinels. And again, right, like Sentinels is nothing compared to BRU. Like you can truly see the difference. And I hate to say it, but it's just SEA, man, this seems to be a strong region.
Yeah, I feel Digon, by the way, in the background, just his heart slowly breaking.
He's giving us
right yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be a different kind of massage, I think.
I was gonna say, the massage is not gonna be as easy as next time. No, we're gonna go behind there. He's gonna be giving us a really rough massage.
Exactly. But you know what, Hals, again, Liberty may not have won this series, but oh my goodness, a part of me almost wanted that little trick to work because it has worked in the past for this region.
Oh yeah, like a part of me, well, me myself, like I wanted that to work. I wanted them to win the game, and it's just so funny to see how they don't lose morale. That's the beauty of this team.
Yeah.
They never lose morale. They always want to win. They'll always try to find a way to win the game. And even though they lost the game, it just felt like they fought all the way till the end. As Stuart said, right, their base is at 400 HP. There's 5 enemies in there, but they still try to teleport to the enemy base. They still try to win the game.
Why not? Might as well try it. I mean, what else do you have to lose at that point, right? But right now, I'm really, really curious, Stuart, for the side of Buriram United. I think that, basically everything worked out in their favor. Do you think Buriram United are going to try something a little bit different going into game 2?
I think they should just stick to their game plan. I think their draft was really good as well. You have the Shen in the top side, you have the Olaf Yumi combo, but also the Yumi worked really, really well with the Lucian. Triple V on that AD carry on someone like a Lucian. This just shows that a Lucian with a Yumi or an AD carry with a Yumi can still work, and it's still a really good combo as well. Triple V going for the more aggressive styles. We hear Brazil in the background going crazy again, as you said.
We've been hearing them all day.
Yeah, I think even behind, like in the previous series as well, we still heard them. But yeah, I think Buriram had a really, really good draft overall. They got the Yumi, they got the Olaf, they got the Lucian as that secondary carrier as well, and they just played the map so well. They were rotating as a group, they were rotating around the map, taking the objectives, taking the towers. Liberty would try, I said, before the game even started, just after draft, it's all about the early game. If Liberty can get ahead in the early game, like you said, it could be, a quick stomp by Liberty if they do get ahead in the early game, because that's the sort of play style that we know and love about them.
The thing, however, is though, BRU gave away two of the best picks to Liberty. They gave away that what was it, the Garen, and they gave away the Wukong. These were 2 champions that are like part of the 2 tricks of Liberty, but they stomped them. So it's not like Liberty didn't have comfort picks. BRU won against Liberty on their comfort picks.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's what I was saying like earlier about BRU actually facing an enemy that they know. I mean, like if there's a lot of info out there on Liberty on these champions, then Buriram United might as well just like have just had that handed to them on a silver platter, because they know exactly how to how to counter strategize against this team. But I do have to wonder, Hels, what do you think Liberty can bring out against Buriram United in game 2?
I think they have to play around the support again. Mana Freezer, listen to me, Mana Freezer. You gotta do it again. You did it with Thresh, and you should do it with a different champion as well. He should be able to do it with a different type of champion as well, where he just absolutely hard carries the game. I'm just gonna be excited to see how this matchup plays again.
Yeah, same here, same here. And, you know, I hope Brazil does something crazy because it makes the game so interesting. It makes the series so interesting. And those are the moments I feel like that really, really, you know, make the heroes, make the, you know, those memorable moments that will go down in Wild Rift Esports history. And Brazil, I believe, is one of the regions that have actually done this, and again, have successfully done this so much. It would be awesome to see something like that happen here on the Icon stage.
Oh, imagine seeing Mana Freezer's Blitzcrank. We just talked about it earlier, but we saw his Thresh, where he hit like nearly every hook. Imagine him playing Blitzcrank. Oh my god, I would love to see that one.
That's the great thing about Mana Freezer, is that he has so many aggressive champions up his sleeve as well. You know, the Set, the Leona as well. This, you know, kind of support matchup, you know, what the Jess against Mana Freezer. They were both on Enchanters this time. You know, what the Jess on that Yumi was no real surprise. But then you had Mana Freezer on the Karma. Like Hell said, I want to see, you know, Mana Freezer play the aggressive, play the proactive support.
The
because,
proactive
you know,
support,
they had the Ashe, they had the Wukong for this proactivity, being able to use the Ashe arrow across the map, which, to be fair, you know, the Ashe actually worked really, really well. They got a few picks from it. They were able to rotate around with Kinzin on the Wukong as well. But if they have that other aggressive style, you know, aggressive support there as well, that's just one extra edge that Liberty can have against Buriram.
I think one other thing, like, I know that we had our eyes on what the Jess, and then we were talking earlier about Mana Freezer as well. I do have to give it up as well for Archony, who had a really good game earlier. The Ari pick was worked actually quite well for Buriram United. But right now, going into the draft of game number 2 of this final series, we see the first ban coming in right now. Hels, I just saw you react right away to that.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? They don't want Kinzin on the Xin Zhao. I don't think they're gonna be banning out the Wukong, however, because they were actually able to deal with the Wukong quite easily. This is the same, right? These are the same bans, right? The exact same bans. We see the Kha'Zix ban from Liberty, we see the Camille ban from BRU, Singed ban as well. It seems like both teams are kind of shaking hands on banning the same stuff, but now you're gonna be coming up to that last ban. Senna is open, Karma is open, Yumi is open. All of these power picks are open right now.
Yeah, and I think like Rafa and Riku, for example, they still want their illustrations to have relevance in this to have relevance in this game coming in. But we see Camille and we see Sinj and we see Kha'Zix as well joining the rest of the bans. Stuart, what are you seeing right now from these two teams? I mean, which way do you think this is going to go for this draft? Right now, no karma on the side. Buriram says enough of that. Never mind.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't think the karma was really a big problem really for Buriram in that last game. It's interesting to ban him out because of Mana Freezer, but no Thresh again. Again, it was something we talked about before, and there you go. There's the Yumi first pick. Now, I really want Liberty here to kind of deny away the Olaf. Obviously, Kinzin is known for his Wukong, we know that, but I just don't think you can give away that Yumi-Olaf combo. It's such a strong combo. You go for the Corki. I would like to see an Olaf here as well. They go, oh, okay, so they're just going to go for Corki and Lucian, so that means that one of them is probably going to go in the duo lane, one of them is probably going to go in the mid lane. Boss actually plays quite a lot of AD carries as well. He's known for his Corki. He can also play Lucian as well, so that's a huge flex pick for Liberty.
And BRU did set this up because they did ban away the Camille, which is a champion that can single out the Olaf with that Hextech ultimatum, of course. But Liberty, you know, the champions that they picked, which is the Lucian and the Corki, they do pretty well into the Olaf as well. They do a lot of damage per second. And you can see, BRU doesn't care. They don't fall for it. They're not going to pick the Olaf. They just picked that early game Lee Sin.
I just have to say, I thought I was seeing things, but BRU, is that like war paint on their faces that they have? like they have like, check out Noel over there. He's got like, is that real? Am I seeing things? Is it?
No, it is real.
It's real.
When they picked the Ashe this time it's BRU picking the Ashe.
This is so interesting though.
Yeah, that's very interesting to see because Yumi Ashe, you know, it can work, but it's not necessarily the combo that you want to have, as Ashe doesn't really deal the most damage, and there we see it again. It's the Wukong yet again. Good champion against the Ashe, however, because the clone could potentially body block an Ashe arrow. I don't really like how BRU has drafted this Ashe, to be very honest, because they do need a different kind of champion to attach the Yumi to, because they don't really have like a major hyper carry to do that on.
I mean, you say that. I mean, I think with Ashe with now lethal tempo, you can go for like a more on-hit build. You can go for more like an AD build. We see a lot of like Manimmune 24, so I know it's really popular in NA, but there's also like new builds coming out now. We know Stormrazor, Infinity Edge, Blades of the Rune King, items like this as well. And honestly, if Ashe can scale now with the new lethal tempo rune, giving her more attack speed, with her first ability as well with the can't remember the name of it, but where she fires out a bunch of arrows at the same time. She can be a late game hyper carry that Yumi can sit on. I think I agree that it's probably not the best, but it's definitely something that can work.
Oh yeah, definitely. And is the Yasuo gonna happen? That's the real question, right? Like, Liberty could be going for some sort of an all-in composition as well. But they have the Wukong already. Yeah, you're seeing it right, Mika. You're seeing it right. They have the Wukong already. This time they do ban out the Ahri. They don't want to be dealing with the Ahri anymore. So it's gonna be interesting to see what champions everyone is gonna be picking last.
There's two champions that Buriram played last game as well. You know, the Shen and Ahri, just taking away what they're comfortable with, I guess, taking away what they won with last game. But I mean, Buriram is coming up with pretty much a completely new draft. I mean, this is all about really the early aggression for Buriram, which we don't really know too much about their early aggression. They're more of like a mid to late game, you know, playing for objectives as well. But I look at this draft by Buriram, I'm thinking, okay, Lee Sin, early game jungler. Ashe, when she hits a level 5, she wants to use her ultimate to try and get picks around the map. The Yumi as well, probably wants to scale a little bit, but it's still really, really good in the early game. But Buriram right now, they're really, you know, hurting the champion.
Oh,
Soraka.
a Soraka for Mano
Second one
Freezer.
today.
Yeah, and it's Mano Freezer playing the Soraka. Now, I gotta say, you know, do I like this? Not really. I want to see Mano Freezer on the play, making champions like the Leonas, you know, like the Alistar, those types of champions. It's gonna be interesting to see how Mano Freezer is gonna be playing around that Soraka. And I'm expecting another tank coming through from Liberty as well, as it works incredibly well with the Soraka, because you can face tank the Ashe arrow as a tank, and then Soraka's constantly gonna be healing you up, and you can survive that initial engage from BRU. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Oh, and it's an Akali as well from BRU.
Akali. Is this the first that we've... No, this isn't the first that we've had here in Icons, but this is the first that we've seen so far today. I believe we've seen another Akali previously. But I'm actually really curious as to why Liberty was able to let Yumi get through, given that they know how much of a threat what the Jess is on the Yumi. And BRU are definitely feeling it.
Okay. Something's happening back there.
Something's happening. Something's happening.
It's the Liberty effect. They have so much energy. Even BRU is getting the energy out of them. You can see, like, both teams are just enjoying the show right here. It's 1-0 for BRU right now, but both teams are just having a blast right now. So I assume Liberty is going to be picking a tank right here. Sure, there is an Irelia, which is some semi-tank, but interesting. We haven't seen much Irelia yet.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a support dash coming in.
It's gonna be freaks on Irelia. We've seen a lot of Garen and Darius from him, but how good is this Irelia gonna be?
Yeah, these two teams. I mean, again, I'm not really too sure about, you know, I mean, I said at the start of the series, I was like, you know, these two are the craziest supports we have. They pick Yumi, they pick Soraka, they pick Karma. Where's the aggressive supports? Where's the sets? Where's the Leonas and everything?
Saving
as well?
it. They're saving it for groups, possibly. I feel it right now.
To be honest, I really like this Akali pick, though. I think you really want to try and get onto this Soraka in the backline, and Akali is the perfect champion for that, because if you can shut down that Soraka, if you can shut down that healing from Soraka, then that's the way the Buriram can win this game.
Well, we can definitely feel the energy over here from the stage. These two teams are pumped. I hope you guys are pumped, Rafa, Riku. We can feel it. Hope you can too.
Damn right we are!
Woo!
We can feel the energy all the way here in the casting booth. We heard what the Jess popping off through not only the monitor, but just through the studio, the very spacious studio that we're in.
Yeah.
But look at Monofritz's smirk. He's got a plan with this Soraka.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that there's just a lot of sustain coming from the side of Liberty, I feel like that's the plan. And you brought this up, Rafa, the global healing. Because what's at the opposite side of Buriram? They've got global initiate with the enchanted crystal arrow, and that heal is ready when it lands.
It's a way to fight back against the global powers that Buriram are using to initiate onto Freaks. And I think that is the big key that Liberty are pivoting with this draft. Obviously, Kona and Boss are taking both strong marksmen that are going to, you know, be able to sustain themselves through the early parts of the game. But all eyes are on Freaks, who had a very, very dominant game on the Garen. But it's hard to really carry a game as a Garen. You can't necessarily 1v9. But what can you 1v9 with if you get fed on it? An
Irelia. Exactly. And if you're assisted well, there's a 1v1 happening here in the mid lane.
Wait, I think Kona's got... Oh, Kona was so close! I don't know if it was a canceled auto attack or the auto attack timer didn't come up. And now Golden Feet, he's got the range. He knows that Kona doesn't have flash. Oh my, the style, the BM points. Did you see Golden Feet?
I saw.
He swagged on back. He said, "Hold up, let me check my stance.
A little bit.
Let me get a stretch in.
Let me
stretch
wait
out
for
the
the
quads
exhaust.
and then Hiku right in the kicker."
That's exactly what happened, and the timing was just so perfect because Kona was just, I gotta get to the honey fruit. I gotta get my vitamins played by Golden Feet here. That's such an explosive start for this game too, Rafa.
And punishing the fact that Kona was so close to taking out Archony in the 1v1. You're going to hope for the sake of Liberty that they are not deterred by it. Meanwhile, it is Freaks that is being the surge of confidence right now for Liberty. Snowballing off of that Garen pick, and now clearly in control of the 1v1 against Noel.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult early game for Noel, especially if there's 3 people going to dive you.
And there's no one from the side of Buriram that can protect Noel. It's an easy dive. This time, there is no botch dive from the side of Liberty. And now they're pushing in a huge wave, giving even more resources to Freaks.
We'll have to see what the response is for Buriram, though. I mean, they already got first blood. They already got a kill earlier in mid lane. But it seems to me that this could potentially be a race to get more turret plates. But the wave clear coming from Boss is going to be very difficult to do.
And look at the positioning, though, from Buriram. Golden Feet has already ceded control of the jungle quadrant that he was invading, whereas Kinzin, he set up a tent.
Yeah!
He's ready to acquire rent in the blue side jungle of Golden Feet. He's like, hey, I got a realtor. I got some estates pitched up. I'm going to take more camps, and I'm going to make a return trip to Noel in the top side of the map.
But I think what's happening here from Kinzen and Freaks is that they haven't exactly marinated Noel enough yet, because he still has barrier, still has flash. The first gank was supposed to burn a summoner or 2, but Noel kept that in place and made sure. But he died, by the way. He still died earlier.
The fact that he didn't burn those summoner spells, though, he already acknowledged that it'd be to no avail to burn the summoner spells. At least now he has the extra safety where he has a health advantage, on top of the fact that perfect execution is available. This time around, Golden Feet, after alleviating resources from the bottom side of the map, is here on the top side to answer back and prevent Freaks from snowballing. But it's going to be a 2v2 skirmish. Golden Feet finds the Sonic Wave, but it is the kick goal from Golden Feet that kicks Kinzen right out of the game, and Freaks cannot answer back.
That was a beautiful angle. I mean, it could have gone through 2 situations where who do you attack first? Who do you prioritize? But that was a beautiful angle coming from Golden Feet. At the end of the day, they saw Mana Freaks moving towards the top side. They decided to back away. They're fine and happy with that 1 kill.
And while Freaks doesn't go down in the exchange, it is imperative that Buriram prevent this Aurelia from ever getting the snowball. Golden Feet, leaving no room for chance or error, is here to put Freaks into the ground.
Gotta love what BRU is doing. Golden Feet hammering down the aggression. Kinzen, even though he plays a temporary camp on his jungle, but Golden Feet, after an attack, one after another, just hammered down, made sure that Freaks also fell.
And this is the power of having something like a Lee Sin, where you're able to immediately leverage that early power against the counterpart in Wukong, where your only power is light skirmishing and a Cyclone engage. Outside of that, you are weak compared to a Lee Sin in those lethality exchanges, where the Lee Sin can 100-0 so many champions early on.
Exactly. And this could be part 2. Golden Feet, Archony.
4-on-3 in the dive, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrows dodge. Golden Feet trying to line up the bowling pin kick once again. It is Archony that is tanking up the tower, and Mount of Frieza is the one that falls. But meanwhile, on the other side of the map, it is Kinzen and Freaks looking to dive Noah under the tower. The Cyclone is there. Noah almost outplaying the Monkey King, but Freaks and Kinzen barely make the dive work.
That was too close. That seemed to be too familiar from earlier in the series with John with the 1v2. Now almost with Noel with the Akali. But this is going to be a trade of objectives this time around, and I think this is the correct play, especially the fact that you are not ready going up against, what the Jess with the final chapter if you're all clumped together. Take note, Freaks, Kinzen, they want to dive into the fight and be in the middle of it all.
And Kinzen is making a repeat gank here just in case he needs it to secure first brick. Note here that Buriram are close to taking first brick of their own. Oh, but Mana Frieza is here to provide the ambulance. Golden Feet lining up Sonic Wave, but there's the heal. Does he have the silence? It's still not enough damage, though. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and it's what the Jess that keeps Golden Feet alive and topped off. But Package is here for the second win. It's Boss looking to make the reinforcements happen. What the Jets needs a new driver, but doesn't make the taxi in time.
Yeah, Golden Feet try to meet what the Jets in the middle, but it's too late. Just a lot of huge damage out from the side of Liberty.
You can't stay here, Cold and Feet. I know you've been kind of styling on Liberty for a while, but you can't style on them when you've got a low amount of health, and look at Freaks, he is just eating BVV alive. One more Blade Surge, and the healing from Monofreaks tops him off once again. This is first brick for Liberty. This is them fighting back with every breath against Buriram.
Very true. This is an amazing start for Liberty. They've managed to get Freaks a couple of kills as well, just to try and even out what Noel's able to build up because of Cold and Feet's constant pressure. This is a very close game so far in the 6-minute mark, with just, in comparison to game number 1, Rafa, the game spun out of control so fast, but this time it's very stable.
Buriram exploded off to the races, remember, but this enchanted crystal arrow start from BVV. Final chapter doesn't quite line up for Boss to be rooted down. Kinzen with the Cyclone disengages the fight, and Buriram lose all attempts to be able to knock out any members of Liberty, but that doesn't mean the turret can't go down. The map is opened up further, but it is Kona on the bottom side of the map, trading back a tower.
Gotta love the movement from Liberty. Freaks.
Oh no, Freaks is in a bad world of hurt. No, with the perfect execution, outplaying the flawless duet, Cold and Feet with the extra damage. And now Liberty. Freaks has not been able to snowball quite as well as Liberty would have liked. In fact, a lot of the gold is actually on Kinzen's Wukong this time around.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Kona wanted to go home.
He's not going home. Avert your eyes, Riku.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm closing my eyes.
Run, Kona. The wish is not going to provide any relief that will actually turn around the fight. It was close, but Archony's got a giant sword of justice and true damage.
Is it over?
Yeah, you can look.
Oh, okay. All right, my eyes are open now.
Well, I'm considering that you are the WCS representative. I guess you can witness Buriram.
That's true. I should open my eyes even more because BRU is doing such a good job. Arrow from downtown.
Okay, it kind of misses, but it's okay. Kinzen still might go down into these efforts here. Cyclone's doing a lot of damage, but it's still a 1v3. Cannot withstand the onslaught.
This is the power of an Ashe. You're able to initiate, get someone stunned, and then get the final chapter for that big stun up. I love the responses coming from BRU. Look at the itemization.
Oh God, Noel, he has the shuriken back, goes in for the perfect execution. Monofreaks has been eliminated. The answer back from Kona finds an answer back, 1v1, but now here comes Archony. He flashing in, he's got the movement speed, he's got the dunk, and Liberty once again on the back foot, down 5,000 gold.
You cannot run away from the Ashe, the slows, the volleys, every single thing. Coming from BRU just prevents you from doing anything, from running away, from escaping, especially. Do not have disengage.
And the beautiful thing about the way Buriram United are playing, despite admirable moves from Liberty to fight back, to have responses, it seems that Buriram look at that and say, oh, you want to fight back? You want to fight back? Okay, well, we can fight back. We can play dirty. And look at Noel, already isolating one of the key targets here in this Soraka, giving Monofreaks no room.
It's insane to me that the way,
We got more fighting here. Kinzen already used the Cyclone, preventing it. Wish comes in, a second win. He's healing up, and he's managing to stay alive. Monofreaks keeping him alive, and it looks like they're able to get a shutdown on the Cold and Feet. They're turning around. Freaks is onto the back line. BVV's under trouble. Noel, can he turn it around? Sure, can backflip. Finds one assassination, but he can't do through them all. What the hell just happened? That's a prime
gaming
ace for Liberty.
What just happened? I told you, we've reiterated before, this is a game that is not in favor of BRU the same way it was in game number 1. All the kills went towards Cold and Feet. Yes, Noel is able to burst Kona down in that instance, but you cannot forget the fact there's still a lot of damage coming from Liberty.
Cold and Feet throws out a casual sonic wave, didn't have vision of the pit, says thank you for the dragon, I'll take that gladly. And now Liberty, they're not only sheepishly on the run, they're running for their lives. Noel is looking for revenge for the last fight. He might go down from the Cyclone. The Kinzen with the Cyclone back. He trades one, but it is Buriram United. You can hear them popping off in the stadium.
That is the most casual Dragon Steal from a Lee Sin that I've ever witnessed in Wild Rift.
And it's a reverse Prime Gaming ace as well for Buriram. Liberty, once again, we had just said it. Every time Liberty finds ways to surprise Buriram, they come right out of the gate saying, yeah, we're gonna one-up you. We're gonna do you one better.
It's just insane how consistent Buriram does that every single time. You get to see Liberty fighting back. But let's take a look at that again. After the steal, arrow again, very easy. Everybody's so clumped together. And double kill for What the Jess on this Yuumi. Again, the chasing power that BRU has is just so easy. There's a lot of dashes, there's a lot of gap closers rather, and the fact that you've got, again, the arrow having to initiate wherever Triple V is.
Absolute heartbreak for Liberty in the wake of what seemed like a pivotal turning point in this game too. But it's Buriram United who, it's just another day in the office. You already see the pop-offs from the teams and of course, the moment of heartbreak for Liberty where they thought that finally they had clawed themselves back into this game, and it's easily reducted by Buriram.
But look at the Wild Tour special though. Look at Kona pushing the mid lane tower, and this prevents BRU from overstaying a topside.
Liberty still keeping their heads in this game, making sure that they recognize that there's still a way to claw themselves back into victory, to bring themselves to match point against Buriram United in this best of 3. The key is focusing split push towers. Remember in game 1, they were down 10,000 gold and almost being able to rip the game away from Buriram with a almost miracle backdoor, but they have to work through it once again.
Yeah, we get to see Kona trying his best.
Flash Demacian Justice. Not enough damage though. Manafritza with the clutch wish will save Liberty's jungler from going down at the cost of a turret.
Yeah, really nicely done by Liberty here. Trying to fight back. There's a 1v1 at the bottom portion of the map, by the way.
Kona and Noah were fighting to the death. Both of them managed to get out alive.
Oh, there's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's
Hawkshot. Man, that doesn't hit as much. I thought it was gonna really hit. It was gonna be a super crusher, but man,
it was fun.
Happened.
I did not expect it.
Well, I'm glad that you appreciate my joke, even though it didn't deliver. I was going for a TJ Omo moment because there's moments during their cast where they kept it light and they cracked.
What is a very definition of a TJ and Omo moment?
You can't define it. You have to experience it firsthand.
You have to experience it. Gotcha.
14 minutes into the game, Liberty still on the back foot here, down 6,000 gold. 2 Dragon Swords inside the Buriram. A Rift Herald was unleashed, only managing to get 1 turret back. Argeny on the back foot, final chapter, trying to root the members of Liberty, preventing them from advancing forward. It's an Enchantment Crystal Arrow, forcing them back, but the Kinsey with the Cyclone, no coming in with the flank, lots of low health bars, and whoa! No way! With the most amazing, perfect execution! That was precision perfect! A quadra kill!
My God, Noel, what a way to end this game! What a way to end the series, and what a way to advance next to their groups.
Buriram doing WCS proud, doing the Southeast Asia region proud, advancing as the first team from the C region to the group stage.
Look how happy he is. What a way, again, to end it. I saw such an explosive team fight right there, and again, Buriram, I'm so proud of their growth, and now they advance. They're all smiles and laughs.
I'm absolutely floored. Dude, what that's me right now.
Yeah.
What the Jess is probably saying, like, what the hell just happened?
What happened there?
Dude, like, because the way the fight started, it seemed like there was exchanges of engagements back and forth.
Yeah.
The wish came in. There's a second win there for Liberty, and then Noah with the flank. Everyone lined up in that perfect execution. It just ripped them apart.
I felt that. I felt that from here in our casting area. Pain.
Oh.
Pain and happy. Happy for Buriram. Definitely.
I was like, aren't you from the WCS?
Yes,
This
I
is
am,
supposed to be a
Rafa.
happy moment.
You look at Jessica just like,
Yeah!
so
What the Jets popping off. But I mean, the story of that game, there was multiple moments from Noel where he had been focused in the early game. They knew that the clear win condition was to snowball Freaks on the top side of the map. Kinzen was there giving resources, Kona coming in as well, trying to be a nuisance, but they prevented Freaks from getting big on this Aurelia, and Noel just biding his time, waiting and waiting and waiting, and then eventually that picture perfect execution. I feel like perfect is going to become a redundant word at this point, but
it's very suiting for the situation.
It's suiting.
What we just saw.
It is an understatement of how damn good that ultimate was. When you whip apart a team in the late game like that and take out 4 members instantly, you need a raise. No one deserves a higher paycheck at this point.
That's very true. 100%. I agree with you there.
Who's the manager? I need to call them. It's like, dude, Noel, he's getting a spa treatment. He's getting a massage from Degon himself. I mean, that
should be. Yeah. Yep.
That
should
is
happen.
the ultimate premium prize. Degon giving a back massage to Noel. But who also deserves a back massage are lovely analyst desks, Mika, Hells, and Stuart. Talk to me. How was that game? What a banger of a series.
They're hiding for some reason. I think that...
Why are you guys hiding?
I think they might have lost something.
We lost our predictions today, or rather, we were the ones that didn't live up to Stuart's expectations because he got 3 out of his predictions correct, and it's a yes. Get a close look at that. Get a close look at that. That is.
Mika drew this one, I drew hers. Now, which one is better?
Mine is great. I feel it's a work of art.
I had a harder logo to draw. I had to draw RRQ right there. Look at that.
It is tricky. It is tricky. Actually, like behind the scenes.
Okay, I gotta be honest. This one does look better. Okay, I may actually keep it.
the Brazilian hype train. The Brazilian hype train.
I mean, all of the players had stuff on their face as well. You had these little symbols and stuff, and you had the war paint from Buriram United with that amazing win. We just saw the energy from that team over there. And right now, looking at the updated bracket of this, congratulations to Buriram United Esports. They are the first SEA team to make it out of the play-in stage right now. And Liberty, though, they will get another chance soon enough.
Oh yeah, they will get another chance, and it's gonna be either up against Sentinel again or against KDF. And I want to see a different Liberty. I don't want to see this reactive Liberty. I want to see, I want to see Mano Freezer on these aggressive supports. I don't want to see him on Karma. I don't want to see him on Yumi. These are not the types of picks that I would see him on. And they may only have 2 more matches to go if they lose, but I want to see a different Liberty in the next series.
Yeah, and I think I'm just looking at our artwork right here.
I'm just chilling in the middle. I'm fine. I got my predictions.
You are
right?
now out of place.
Yesterday with my bold prediction, today with my actual predictions.
This was such a tragic moment right here, by the way. Here you can see like that. Nearly Kona got a kill in the mid lane, but then he got ganked. And this is like one of the worst ways to die, right? Like you nearly tasted the first blood, and then you are the one that gets first blooded.
And Stuart, you were mentioning earlier about how Buriram United, they just, Liberty can be very aggressive, but Buriram United, they just met them where they were.
Yeah, they matched Liberty this game in terms of the early game. We normally know Liberty to be the early game aggressors, but with Buriram on this Lee Sin, on the Ash pick as well, I mentioned it a little bit during draft, I think they were the ones that are actually the ones that have been aggressive this game, and Liberty kind of fell a little bit short in this game, and that's kind of just shows that Buriram United is just a better overall team, macro and micro wise as well, I think. Going into this, even though House had a little bit of hopium for Brazil, but
clearly.
clearly, he's got a logo on the face now and everything. But yeah, I think Buriram did really well. In my opinion, the surprising first seed coming out of this group, I think Quantum Freaks were probably up there. But to be honest, if Quantum Freaks beat Sentinels, if we've got Liberty against Quantum Freaks, in that last decider, if that other match goes the same way tomorrow, but that could be another exciting game as well.
That's right.
Oh yeah, it could definitely be. And like, let's also talk about the full AP Yumi, by the way. This is a new kind of thing that we're seeing a lot. Like, she dealt a lot of damage. We saw later on in the game, like, she was chunking down people. Like right here, you see that person on the top side? That's just one Yumi ability right there. It took like 30% of HP from the champion right there.
I think there was one point as well where Yumi used one first ability and then I think like half of Soraka's health was gone, just like that. I mean, we've seen it a little bit before, you know, in from what the Jess as well from the SEA region, we've seen a little bit, but I think we're starting to see it more and more now instead of this supportive style Yumi. I think there's a lot of players that are coming into this, a lot of supports are coming into Icons that are trying to pick up this AP Yumi, realizing how much damage Yumi can actually do, and she still will have all the shielding as well, all the healing as well, because her ability scale off AP. So not only that, you have to poke from the first ability at the same time.
Not just the Yumi though, I do have to give it up this time. This is the moment I was waiting for. I was waiting for Noelle to pop off, and definitely that Akali pick was a treat to watch, Stuart.
I said in the draft as well, I think with the Akali pick, it's great against Liberty's comp. You know, you want someone to dive in onto the back line, onto that Soraka, and that's exactly what Noelle did as well. You know, struggled a little bit. I think at one point he was like 4 and 6, so he doesn't really do, too well in terms of the early game, but Akali's not really an early game champion. Akali loves to scale into the mid and late game, and that quadra kill right at the end as well. Refa went absolutely crazy. Refa Riku both went absolutely crazy.
He's still going crazy.
The quadra kill, the execution that went, and he just got an instant quadra kill. I was hoping, I think you were saying, man, it seems like pentakill. Like,
but it felt
was so
good to see that. That quadra kill felt good. You can see there's a 23,000 damage on the Akali there. And what is it? 19.7 thousand damage from the support Yumi as well?
Wow.
What?
Wow. Yeah. That is insane, but that is definitely, I mean, it's just what the Jess. Again, SEA doing SEA things, and definitely what the Jess doing Jess things. And I mean, we brought up earlier again that this full AP Yumi build is not news to what the Jess. I think we're gonna see it a whole lot more, as Stuart mentioned. But again, I was waiting for one of those playmaker supports to come in, especially as we see it so well with Mana Freezer. That might be the key to Liberty's victory should they go into their next series.
That's what I was saying. Even if it's not the key, I just want to see it. I just want to see this guy play the cool supports. I'm saying the cool supports because I love seeing him play Thresh. Hitting the hooks, making the plays.
Yumi is cool.
Yumi is cool as well, but it's not his champion. Sure, he can play it, but come on, the audience wants to see you play the cool champions, the Blitzcranks, the Thrashes, Leona, Alistar, Rakan, these types of supports.
That's right.
I think the crazy thing is as well that Liberty, the ones that were actually banning out Thresh for themselves.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about it. I think they're just worried about what the Jess on Thresh, but then if you leave open the Yumi at the same time, you're then giving over the Yumi, but then at the same time you're not taking up the Thresh, which is a really, really good champion against Yumi, because if Yumi jumps out, then Thresh can use his third ability, his first ability, just basically to stop the Yumi from jumping back in, and Thresh is one of the main counters towards Yumi, so it's a bit interesting why they banned the Thresh, but I think it's no surprise obviously against what the Jess as well.
Yeah, and so happy for Buriram United Esports, SEA Pride, making it through to the group stages. Yes, my copium is here. It works. And I see Rafa giving me the same energy over here. That series was definitely one fun way to end the day. And we saw the energy from the players. Buriram United, they were throwing back screams across each other across the stage, which was just so awesome to watch. And now, of course, we see the results from today, and of course, Hells and I know these results very, very well. We fell victim to these results right here because of the copium that we had for the teams that we love so much.
Oh yeah, this it hurts to see. Yet again, 50% rate. I don't like. I want to go up to 70% at least, 75%, like Stuart did today. But wow, that's amazing. The thing about today is, however, we got 4 Chinese teams that qualified, and yeah, well, that's the end of the show, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right.
three Chinese teams, 1 SEA team. I don't think there's any real surprise about that. We still got some other teams to be playing as well. We're going to be having the lower bracket tomorrow as well, which I think is really exciting. That's where like kind of the elimination starts as well. But there's one thing with you two as well. I know you two were doing each other's art behind the scenes as well, and I think we got a little bit of a snippet from that as well, from all the artwork
the
from
artist
behind the
at
scenes
work.
as well.
There you go.
Look at that, beautiful.
I was like, oh, where's the logo? Where's the logo? Copying it exactly. I was like, I have to do this justice. Look
Oh,
at
look
that.
at how precise I was.
Look
You
at
see
that.
how I do it?
The artwork is beautiful.
Look at the contrast. I
You know
was
what was
like,
actually funny as well? We were actually talking behind the scenes. There was actually like some team fights at some points where Liberty were actually winning. Where it was like, wait, did we do this too early? Like, was there a
like-
point where you did it too early?
we
Is
were like,
Liberty gonna win?
Wait. Okay, continue. But that is it. And of course, these four teams, congratulations to them for advancing to the group stage. I kind of like I kind of like feel like this is eventually how, the playoffs are going to be. I think it's going to be like, we're going to see the teams from China, of course, dominate still. And I think that we're going to get that one hope out of, currently the region that may just topple these WRL teams off of their seat of power right now. Could be Buriram United Esports indeed to rise up to that challenge. I mean, given the energy that they were showing over there, I
yeah.
think they're super hyped for the entirety of Icons and Stewart. I know that we can feel like the energy of these teams from the stage. We know that Brazil can do crazy things as well. So I wouldn't count them out entirely, actually.
I think that's the great thing about being here, in Singapore, being in a LAN environment as well. All the players are here as well. It's so great to feel the energy. You can feel the energy in the entire studio as well, from the players, from the coaches, and everyone as well. It's great to be here, and it's a great experience as well. For all the players, for the teams as well, traveling over here, and we're still only getting started.
That's right. And right now, I believe we do have Degon standing by for a quick interview with Buriram United's Golden Feet.
Thank you very much, guys. And I'm joined by the victorious Buriram United jungler, Golden Feet, and being helped out with the translation by Isara. Thank you very much. Golden Feet, 2 wins, but they were kind of close. Liberty felt like they pushed back on you a lot.
ก็2-0 ก็จริงแต่รู้สึกว่าเหมือนทาง Liberty เนี่ยก็ทำให้รู้สึกว่ามันไม่ง่ายเหมือนกันเนาะ
ก็ผมคิดว่าพวกเราประมาทในการที่ไอเทมฮอลเบเกอร์ครับเพราะว่าคิดว่าพวกเราควรจะบีบออไฟได้แล้วก็แบบจบได้ภายในไฟเดียวแต่ว่าไอเทมฮอลเบเกอร์ทำให้เราเล่นยากก็เลยรู้สึกว่าเป็นเกมที่ตึงแต่จริงๆแล้วในเกมไม่ตึงเลยครับพวกเราชิลกันมาก
So yeah, pretty much I think they underestimated the hull breaker. There were many fights that they kind of thought that they would have just went in a team fight and they would just won. But yeah, like the hull breaker really kind of annoyed them a little bit. But in the end, they were really relaxed during the team fights. They knew what they were doing, and yeah, I think they really enjoyed playing the game.
In game 1, there were multiple attempts to backdoor. Did any of them catch you off guard? Were you nervous about it?
ก็มีหลายๆครั้งเนาะที่แบบอาจจะมีการแบ็กดอมบ้างในเกมแรกเนี่ยรู้สึกยังไง
ก็ไม่ค่อยรู้สึกตื่นเต้นเท่าไหร่ครับเพราะคิดว่าพวกเขาน่าเป็นฝ่ายที่ตื่นเต้นมากกว่าที่ต้องมาตุ๋ยบ้านผมนะครับเพราะพวกเขาจะแพ้เรา
Right. So I think like we're not too excited because we think that the team that has to be more excited is the opponent's team because they're the one backdooring us. They need to do that, and for us it's just like up to them.
And then in game 2, you played Lee Sin, had an amazing performance, and every single team fight, I heard you laughing very loud. Everyone was laughing very loud from Buriram United. Why was that?
เกมที่2หยิบลีซินมาคือทำผลงานได้ค่อนข้างดีเนาะแต่ว่าคราวเนี้ยเขาก็ได้ยินว่าแบบมันมีเสียงหัวเราะเยอะมากๆเลยแบบทั้งทีมอะไรอย่างเงี้ยรวมถึงนิกด้วยเกิดอะไรขึ้น
เพราะว่ามันมีอยู่ไฟล์หนึ่งที่เราแพ้5-0เอสเนาะก็พวกเขาขำใส่เราก่อนครับผมก็เลยพอผมชนะไฟล์ที่หลังมาผมก็เลยขำใส่เขาให้ดังกว่าเดิมครับแค่นั้นเลยครับเพราะว่าผมอยากจะเอาคืนพวกเขาครับ
Okay, right. So I mean, there was one fight where they were aced, 5-0, and Liberty played that one very, very well, and they were laughing. So he felt like, what? If we had our chance, we would need to laugh louder than them. So yeah, I think that's what they did.
You got a very good laugh. Hey, close it out. Final question. Did you mean to steal that pentakill?
ตั้งใจขโมยเพนตาคิวหรือเปล่านิก
ตั้งใจครับเห็นเพื่อนกำลังจะได้แล้วก็ต้องแย่งหน่อยเดี๋ยวไม่มีซีนกัน
Of course, yes. I mean, it's right there. Like your friends are gonna get a penthouse. What would you do? Go. Well, I need to steal it. So,
I'm glad you were able to make that happen. Congratulations on making it through to the group stage. Buriram United's cold defeat, everyone. Let's send it back to the desk.
Oh man, Golden Feet. He has to like treat Noel to like a good drink or like some coffee or something after that.
They got the win anyway. They got the win. I think they'll still be happy. No pentakill, no
There'll
pentakill.
be more
I think
chances.
that's like-
There
exactly.
will be more chances for sure. Checking out tomorrow's schedule, we are going to see which teams will get some more points and then get one step closer to qualifying for the group stages. We have Furious Gaming versus Game Lord over here, and we have Stamina versus Unsold Stuff Gaming, and we have Vivo Keed versus Rix GG and Sentinels versus Kwangdong Freaks coming up. Just really curious, Stuart, who do you have your eyes on right now? Which series?
I think for us, it's got to be the two EU teams. It's kind of worrying that this is where the elimination starts. This is a loser bracket now, so the teams that lose this game get eliminated from the play-ins. And looking at the teams and looking at the EU as well, it's scary to see both EU teams from the play-ins in the lower bracket. I'm really curious to see. I think Rix have a much better chance against Vivo Keed. I think Game Lord can do it against Furious Gaming, but they played really well against China. But you also got some other interesting games as well. I think Stamina versus Unsold Stuff Gaming is also going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, we could lose 2 of our soldiers right there. We have 3. We could already lose 2 of them we could already lose 2 of them tomorrow. That feeling is gonna hurt me, and yeah, I'm not sure how well I'm gonna sleep tonight thinking about that.
No.
Hopefully they'll be able to make it tomorrow, at least one of you guys. Sentinels as well, the NA squad is also gonna may lose half of their teams.
It's all the Western teams.
Right.
All the Western teams. Here. You're fine, with
Yeah,
SEA
you're all good.
and everything.
Okay.
Us
So
Western,
far,
us
I'm
Western talent. We're struggling here. We're struggling
yeah.
out here.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure. I mean, like, even if I would say that RQ is in a bit of a comfortable position, I still shake whenever I see him on the series. It's just part of it. So I am sure it's going to be really, really interesting to see, of course, our EU casters' reactions over here for what's going to happen tomorrow on day 4 of Icons 2022. We will see you there, same time, same place. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you in the Rift.